W4 Golf Mike, Norway.
Mike, Norway, this is KC9VKV. Come back with a call sign phonetically.
Yeah, this is Norway 3 Golf Mike, Norway. John over here a little bit north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, over.
John, up around Pennsylvania. Roger, sir. You're doing beautiful. Come back and let me hear you, sir.
We'll say good evening, Jim. Well, almost evening. We're running a Kenwood TS2000 with an Alinco desk microphone. And like a dum-dum, I have my TX monitor on here. And, well, I have to live with it right now. I'm just wondering how I sound on this. I've been having a bout of microphone wars over here between my Heil microphone, the hand microphone, and now this desk microphone. Over.
Well, this one sounds mighty nice. Let's see, what other is that hand mic? What's that is? What model?
The hand microphone is just the stock Kenwood 43, or, you know, the little basic microphone, and I hardly ever use it. And I was running a Heil boom microphone at HM12, and everybody's telling me I sound a little too bassy and flat. So I had this 8-pin microphone and decided to plug it in and see what happens.
Roger. Well, I think you've got things under control. Now, my personal choice would be, you know, I'm trying to convert these HFers up into the VHF, UHF category as far as clarity of signal. You know, it's been a long time. HF has been considered the old way, you know, and so folks coming along now with the condenser microphones and really giving UHF, VHF technically a run for the money as far as you know, the presence of signal, the articulation, and the clarity of the signal. So I'm always in favor of a couple of dB boost on the top end, particularly on a dynamic microphone.
Roger. Oh, well, your signal report is 10 over steady. I mean, just booming in here. We're about 12 miles or so north of the city of Pittsburgh over here in Pennsylvania. And it's going to get cold, and I understand it's getting cold your way. And what I'll do is, next Friday, I will fire the other microphone up and try it on the boom mic and see what we get from there, which will be curious to hear, because I've been playing with the settings with the headphones and the speaker monitor and the dummy load and all that. So we'll let you carry on. It's almost getting there to the witching hour. KC9VKV from N3GMN.
Roger, John. Now, I don't know how to put this, but you need your super glue and your Gorilla Tape on this setting, so you can always come back to this setting, because you're going to be hard pressed to get a better sound. Roger.
Oh, Roger. Do appreciate that. It's been a real fandango over here, to put it mildly and politely, over the air. We are running about 300 watts here at the present time. A G5RV basic setup, nothing crazy other than the microphones. And I do have a low voice, and that's been a lot of the issue. Over.
Roger. Well, you know, my way I look at an EQ is I always take an EQ, a 3-band, keep the mid-band EQ flat, neither plus nor minus, just flat. And then I usually go up on the top end, crank in 2 or 3, and then the whole ball game then is back in the bottom end. Whether you want a Qso or whether you want a DX or contest, it's all back in that bottom end. You know, you thin it out for a CQ, DX, and all that stuff, or you leave it full, maybe +1 or so for Qso. You know, it's all secrets all in the bottom end.
Roger. Yeah, it's been, you know, it's just, I'm almost at the point, but the XYO won't let me do it, is to get a 7600 or something. I'm hearing all these 7300s, and they sound like $1 million radios. Even weak signal, the audio is just, they on those two radios, as far as I'm concerned, from listening and talking, it's the ballpark there. They did it. Icon did it. And well, if I could, yeah, I'll leave it at that, sir.
Roger, Roger, John. Well, you know, the secret to the 7300 is, number one, the condenser stock hand mic that they supply with that radio challenges that radio beautifully. It just, you know, you have to work it across. You can't work into a condenser mic, but you work it across. And it's just the limiter for the 7300 and the 7610 are what I call stonewall limiters. They're set to, there's very little blow-by through that. They are consistent where the 100% peak is right there, and it keeps banging back to that exact place every time. So it doesn't punch through from time to time or under from time to time. It is right there. And you know, I usually suggest that on that 7300 they run about a 3 out of 10 compression, or a third of the compression capabilities, and then consult their ALC and adjust their mic level for ALC activity between mid-scale and 2/3. And that radio's going to have a 2.5 dB dynamic range right there. Now, on the 7610, it can do a little better because it's got a thing called Drive, which you access through a menu called Quick. And Drive you can turn Drive up and wind up with 0.5 dB of dynamic range. In other words, I'm sitting here looking at audio on a VU meter, and the VU meter is bouncing around, ba-da-ba-da-da. Well, 0.5 dB dynamic range, the meter starts to react kind of like a voltmeter on a RF output stage. I mean, it's not moving at all. It's just quivering between 0 and minus 0.5 dB. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Every time I hear these, you know, those two particular radios and a few of the SDRs on it, is just unbelievable. Unreal. The days, back in the days of tubes, AM, yeah. We're going too far back now. I like this turn-on technology. The only way to fly, sir, the only way to fly.
Oh, that's exactly right. You know, the thing is, though, that with tubes, you never ever had the stonewall limiting capabilities that they are running on that 7300 and the 7610. You know, the difference between a compressor and a limiter is the attack and release times. A compressor has got fairly loose attack and release times, so that's how you can compress, you know, 20 dB if you need to. A limiter is a fast attack, fast relief, so you can't push it anywhere near like that. But it's so fast that you don't need to. Usually about 2 or 3 dB of limiting is all you need. Now the limiter on that 7300, you can get quite aggressive with the ALC level, and that limiter is so nice that it you know, it just holds right there, and when you increase your volume, your signal just starts getting fatter and fatter. You know, it's just amazing.
FREQ.
Standby station.
Oh, I am just impressed with the audio, and with the setup here. It's pretty, you know, simple setup. I do have a 811 AL811, and just the radio. But now I'm just flabbergasted at the reports on this microphone compared to the other ones. It just is mind-boggling. Unbelievable. We'll let you go and pick up a couple more, Jim, and we'll catch you next Friday on a different microphone. KC9VKV and 3GMN.
Roger, Roger. John, thanks for checking in, man. It's beautiful audio. Beautiful audio, good signal, great signal. Hopefully next Friday we can duplicate it again, and it'll be right there again. And you know, Mother Nature sometimes cooperates. So 3 is there, John, and you have a good afternoon, good evening, and hopefully we'll see you next Friday. This is KC9VKV in the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog program. Anybody want to check in with radio to get their audio recorded? Go ahead.